Welcome to the deep dive. We've got some really interesting source material in front of us today. We're looking closely at this plan, this roadmap, designed to take someone maybe starting from, well, zero knowledge,
Right.
all the way to success in data science, which is quite a promise.
It really is. What we have here is a description of an 11-month course called the Data Science Roadmap,
Hmm.
From Zero to Success.
And learning data science, I mean, it can feel overwhelming. So many tools, concepts.
Oh,
A
absolutely.
structured roadmap like this one, well, it aims to offer a clear path through all that noise.
So our mission here really is to unpack this roadmap, go through it month by month, module by module. We want to see the journey it sets out, what skills are in there, the activities, and, analyze the thinking behind it. Yeah, and if you're thinking about this field, or maybe you're already starting out, seeing a whole structure like this laid out, well, it can be really helpful. Understanding how it moves you from, say, basic concepts to advanced stuff and even getting ready for a job, this deep dive should give you a really clear picture of what that path looks like.
Okay, let's dig in then. The source material says it's an 11-month immersive journey. A new module opens up each month, leading to this end goal they call success.
And it actually starts smartly, I think, with a welcome and orientation, not just straight into code.
Good point. That orientation, it includes a welcome video that explains the roadmap itself, gives you the big picture, and crucially, an interactive setup guide. Anaconda, Python, VS Code, Jupyter Notebooks.
Getting that environment right from the start, it's huge.
Yeah, and they mention a community hub, too.
That focus on the setup and the community aspect, it's not just fluff, it's foundational. I mean, wrestling with installations can stop people cold, and having others to ask questions, that makes a real difference early on. It sets the stage properly.
Totally agree. Okay, stage set. Let's jump into part one. The foundations. This is the first 4 months, building the base.
Right. Laying that groundwork you absolutely need before you can tackle the more complex stuff.
So month one's module one, basic Python. The theme is the Python logo, the first step on the road. Core stuff here. Programming, fundamentals, variables, data types, operator.
They're real basics.
Yeah, logic, control flow, like if statements, loops, data structures, lists, tuples, dictionaries, sets, and writing your first functions.
Starting with Python makes complete sense. It's kind of become the standard language for data science, right? It's versatile, pretty readable, and it's how you access almost all the tools later on. Getting that basic programming logic down first is key.
And they've got interactive bits like in-browser coding, which is great for quick feedback, a code-along project, building a simple text adventure game, fun way to practice loops and logic,
Yeah, classic.
and weekly quizzes.
Those hands-on practice things, they're really important for building that initial, muscle memory for coding.
Okay, month two, module two, stats and probability, themed with stats and charts icons. The language of data, they call it. Concepts are descriptive stats mean median, mode, variance, standard deviation.
Your core descriptive measures.
Probability theory, Bayes' theorem included, common distributions, normal, binomial, Poisson, and hypothesis testing, A/B testing, p-values, significance.
Yeah, this is where you see it's not just about coding. You have to understand what the numbers actually mean. Python's the tool, but stats is the language. Hypothesis testing, for instance, that's how you go from seeing something to making a real statistically sound conclusion. Crucial for business decisions.
Makes sense. The interactive parts here are a statistics simulator, sounds cool, lets you visualize how data points affect stats,
Oh, that's neat. Good for intuition.
and a Jupyter Notebook assignment, analyzing a real data set.
Seeing those concepts visually and then using them right away in a notebook, that really helps connect the theory to the practice.
All right, month three, module three, advanced Python for data science. Bigger Python logo theme here, gearing up. This is where NumPy comes in for numerical stuff, array manipulation,
Ah, NumPy, essential.
and pandas for data manipulation, cleaning, exploring with data frames. And it also introduces object-oriented programming, OOP.
Okay, yeah, NumPy and pandas. These are the absolute workhorses. You use these every single day as a data scientist. NumPy for the heavy math, pandas for handling tables of data. I mean, you can't do data science without pandas, really.
Right.
And touching on OOP, that's smart too, helps you write cleaner, more organized code as your projects get bigger than just simple scripts. This module gives you the tools you'll rely on constantly.
The interactive stuff sounds very practical. A data cleaning challenge with messy data, because data is always messy.
Right, always. Yeah, that's realistic.
And a live coding session, watching a pro handle complex data manipulation.
That's gold. Data cleaning, data wrangling.
Yeah.
It takes up so much time. Seeing how experienced people do it efficiently is super valuable.
And month 4 finishes the foundations. Module 4, visualization. Theme is a visualization and dashboard icon, telling the story with data. Covers principles of good visualization.
Which is an art in itself.
Creating static plots with Matplotlib and Seaborn, and then building interactive charts, dashboards with Plotly.
Putting visualization here right after data manipulation makes a lot of sense. It reinforces that analyzing data isn't the end goal, communicating what you found is. You need to understand the data first, from months 1 to 3, before you can effectively tell its story visually in month 4. And good visualization isn't just pretty pictures. It's about clarity, avoiding misleading people. Super important when you present results.
Interactive bits include a chart builder, helps you pick the right chart type, apparently.
Oh, useful. That's a common sticking point.
And a project.
Yeah.
Create a multi-chart dashboard to explore a data set.
Yeah, choosing the right visualization is a skill. And building a dashboard forces you to think about how different views work together to tell a coherent story. Good practical exercise.
Okay, so that's the first 4 months done. Solid foundations. Now we're shifting into part 2, building and deploying models, months 5 through 7. This feels like where the science part really kicks in for a lot of people.
It is, yeah. But notice how it builds directly on everything before it in. The programming, the stats, the data handling, even the visualization. You need clean, understood data and the tools to process it before you can build good models.
Right. Module 5 is machine learning. Theme, ML brain icon, building the engine. Concepts cover the ML framework, supervised versus unsupervised learning.
Knowing the difference, yeah. Like predicting a price versus finding hidden groups.
Training versus testing data. Specific models. Linear regression for predicting numbers, then classification models like logistic regression, KNN, decision trees, random forest.
The classic toolkit.
Plus model evaluation metrics. Super important.
Absolutely. This is where you learn to train algorithms to find patterns, make predictions. These models power so much stuff we use daily. Understanding the different types, when to use which one, and crucially, how to tell if your model is actually any good using those metrics. That's fundamental. It's more than just model.fit.
Yeah. Interactive elements. A hyperparameter tuner lets you see how tweaking model settings affects performance. Like tuning an instrument, kind of.
That sounds really helpful for building intuition. Hyperparameters can seem a bit mysterious at first.
And a guided project. Building a model using scikit-learn, maybe predicting housing prices or customer churn.
Applying it right away to a real-world type problem. Good stuff. Scikit-learn is the standard library for this.
Month 6, Module 6, data manipulation in SQL. Database icon theme, mastering the raw material. Concepts are advanced pandas techniques, building on month 3.
Deeper dive there.
And SQL, a big dive into SQL. From basic select to advanced joins, group P by Y, window functions.
All the critical SQL skills.
Plus connecting Python to databases to pull data.
Okay, interesting. They put the heavy SQL after the ML intro. Often you need SQL first to get the data.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
But maybe the idea is, by month 6, you're solid with Python and basic data handling from Module 3. So layering in database complexity is easier. Either way, SQL is non-negotiable. Real data lives in databases mostly. You have to know how to query it effectively.
Makes sense. The interactive side has a live SQL sandbox for practice.
Nice. Avoid setup hassles.
And a mini project combining SQL extraction with pandas analysis, which sounds like a very common workflow.
That combined project is key. It shows how the tools fit together. You rarely just use one or the other. It's a pipeline.
Okay, month 7, Module 7, deployment. Cloud deployment icon. Taking your model live, core concepts, building a simple web API Flask or Fast API mentioned.
Standard choices for Python web APIs.
To serve your model's predictions. Containerizing with Docker so it runs consistently.
Crucial for deployment Docker.
And deploying to a cloud service like Heroku or AWS.
This module is incredibly valuable, sometimes overlooked in courses. A great model stuck on your laptop. Not very useful. Deployment is about making your work accessible, integrating it, learning APIs, Docker, cloud. That's a huge step towards being job ready, making impact.
And the interactive part is an end-to-end guided project. Take a model you built earlier, wrap it in Flask, Dockerize it, deploy it.
Whoa, that's a serious project.
Yeah, sounds like a real capstone for this middle section.
It really is. Doing that whole cycle build, wrap, deploy shows a much deeper understanding than just building models in notebooks.
Okay, foundations, building and deploying models. Now part 3, advanced topics and career prep. Months 8 through 11, the home stretch. specialization, and getting hired.
Yeah, this part broadens things out into more advanced areas and then pivots hard into the practicalities of landing that job.
Month 8 is Module 8, Deep
Yep.
Learning. Deep Learning Idea Icon,
Yep.
the cutting edge, concepts, intro to neural networks architecture, backpropagation, gradient descent, maybe visually explained,
Hopefully visually, yeah. Backprop can be tricky conceptually.
and building your first neural network with TensorFlow or PyTorch.
The big players. Deep learning is that powerful subset of ML, great for complex stuff like images, text. It builds on the earlier ML concepts but gets more intricate. This module probably gives you the basics to build simple networks and see how they work.
The interactive side mentions a neural network visualizer showing data flow weight updates.
Oh, that would be fantastic for understanding what's happening inside. They can feel like black boxes otherwise.
And a code-along training a network on MNest, the handwritten digits dataset.
Ah, the hello world of deep learning. Perfect first hands-on exercise.
Month 9. Module 9. CV and NLP. CV-NLP head icon theme. Specializations. Introduces computer vision basics, CNNs for image classification, and natural language processing, text preprocessing, word embeddings, sentiment analysis.
Two huge exciting areas. CV for seeing images, NLP for understanding language. This shows you how the core skills apply to totally different data types, opens up paths you might want to specialize in later.
Interactive stuff. 2 mini projects. An image classifier, cats versus dogs, is common.
Classic.
And a sentiment analysis model for movie reviews.
Again, really practical examples. Applying the theory right away to image and text data is the best way to learn this stuff.
Month 10. Module 10. Interview preparation. Interview icon. Facing the challenge. Concepts. Cracking technical interviews. SQL. Python ML theory questions.
The technical gauntlet.
Data science case studies. Product sense questions. And the STAR method for behavioral questions.
This is critical. Technical skills are table stakes, but you have to pass the interview. That means articulating your thinking, handling pressure, thinking about business problems, talking about your experience effectively. Interviewing is its own skill.
They offer a mock interview simulator. Timed video questions that sounds intense.
Good. Replicates the pressure.
A peer interview hub. And a searchable question bank. Very practical approach.
Yeah, practice, especially mock interviews for technical and case questions, is absolutely vital. Helps you structure answers under pressure.
And finally, Month 11. Module 11. Projects and resume prep. Projects and resume icon. Showcasing your success. Concepts. Building your resume. Cover letter for data science roles. Creating a GitHub project portfolio.
Oh, proof of work.
To show off your code and analysis. And scoping. Executing a capstone project.
This is it, your chance to really prove you can do the job end to end. Employers look at projects. A good GitHub portfolio shows you've gone beyond tutorials. The capstone should be the centerpiece, ideally tackling a complex problem independently.
Interactive elements. A resume builder and review tool, maybe with AI feedback. And the capstone project itself. Choose your own unique, complex dataset and problem. Build something comprehensive.
Yeah. The capstone is where it all comes together, shows initiative, problem-solving, execution. That's what employers want.
And then the roadmap says you hit the finish line. Success. Trophy theme. This includes a course certificate, a project showcase for top capstones, which is nice for visibility.
Definitely.
And guidance on job searching, networking, and importantly, continuing education.
Right. It marks the end of the structured learning, but points towards the next step, the job market. And like we know, success in data science isn't an endpoint. It's always evolving. Continuous learning is just part of the deal.
So looking back at this whole 11-month plan, it really does lay out a clear path. Starts with basics like programming, stats, builds up data handling tools, then machine learning, deployment, touches on advanced specializations, deep learning, CV, NLP, and finishes strong with that crucial career prep.
Seeing it all mapped out like that, month by month, with specific skills and projects, it does make that big, kind of scary goal of becoming a data scientist feel more achievable, doesn't it? Breaks down this huge field into manageable steps over time. It's a solid structure, especially if you're starting from scratch.
It really does. And, it makes you think. Here's a provocative thought for you listening. Data science changes so fast. New tools, new techniques popping up all the time. How would a roadmap like this one need to change, maybe year after year, just to stay current? What skills might be absolutely fundamental 5 years from now that perhaps aren't explicitly listed here or aren't emphasized as much in a roadmap design today? Something to chew on as you continue your own deep dive into this field.